I got two people that I would like you to maybe share something that is not that is misunderstood about them. One of them is Hulk Hogan, and the other one is a gentleman I'd love to speak with if he has the time, Conrad Thompson. What's something about those gentlemen through your friendships with them that people may not understand?
Well, especially with Hulk, there's a lot, but I think Hulk is one of the kindest, most generous. I'm not just talking about with money, that too, but generous with his time, generous with his attention. He's one of the most generous people I've ever met. And, the rap on Hulk Hogan in the wrestling industry is that he's self-serving and selfish. And there's nothing more opposite of who Terry Bollea is. Now, in the business of professional wrestling, if you're not protective of your character, if you don't mind your own business and put your character in your business as the most important thing in any discussion, there are a world of sharks that are willing to take it away from you to benefit themselves. So yeah, business-wise, the character Hulk Hogan, the man Terry Bollea, could be tough to do business with from time to time. But the person Terry Bollea is one of the kindest, most gentle people I've ever met. I don't think he'd step on a fly. Yeah. I mean, he's just a gentle person and a kind and generous one. Yeah. Conrad, Conrad doesn't have the kind of reputation that Hulk Hogan has, obviously.
Sure.
But what people don't know about Conrad is how special of a human being he is. And my first meeting with Conrad Thompson did not go well.
Okay.
We talk about it about it in the book, right?
Okay.
I'm not going to give it away here. It was anything but an ideal meeting for either one of us. And what I learned about Conrad is he is a magnet. He's a magnet for really good people. If you look at the team that surrounds Conrad on a day-to-day basis, of which he is the nucleus, he's like a planet that attracts really positive people and good people. Really good people. Mm-hmm. And I don't think people quite understand, a little bit like Hulk Hogan, just how generous Conrad is with his spirit and with his support, and just his sheer nature is positive. So if you happen to be around him, if you're a halfway decent person, you're going to walk up being a better than a halfway decent person because of him. There's not a lot of people like that.
This is the Knockin' Doorz Down podcast, featuring celebrities, experts, and everyday people who have overcome adversities, including addiction, mental health, and trauma, to live purposeful lives. And that's what Knockin' Doorz Down is all about.
This podcast contains the views and opinions of the Knockin' Doorz Down hosts and their guests to the show. The content here should not be taken as medical advice. The content here is for informational purposes only. And because each person is sharing their unique perspective, please consult your healthcare professional for any medical questions. Views and opinions expressed in the podcast and website are our own and do not represent that of our places of work. While we make every effort to ensure that the information we are sharing is accurate, we welcome any comments, suggestions, or correction of errors. Privacy is of the utmost importance to us. For those wishing anonymity, people, places, and scenarios mentioned in the podcast have been changed to protect confidentiality at the request of certain guests. This website or podcast should not be used in any legal capacity whatsoever, including but not limited to establishing standard of care in a legal sense or as a basis for expert witness testimony. No guarantee is given regarding the accuracy of any statements or opinions made on the podcast or website. In no way does listening, reading, emailing, or interacting on social media with our content establish a doctor-patient relationship. If you find any errors in any of the content of this podcast or blogs, please send a message through the contact page. This podcast is owned by KDD Media Company.